Okay, this is just, this is PVA glue, but any white glue, tacky glue, anything like that could be used. But I'm just putting it out in a container, and actually I would put it in a plastic container so I could wipe it up instead of this paper boat, but I'm trying to do this quickly for you. So I'm rolling the edges of this and letting the edges hit the glue. It works a little better with the center medallion fold because it has edges that are closer together. So I'm probably not going to get glue on every single one of these little ends. But I'm going to take this over and put it in the mica and the glitter. And I'll tell you about this stuff in a second. I'm trying to actually concentrate and talk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, so I'm just rolling that around, and that gave me a little bit of decorative edge on there. So I'm going to sit that down for a second and let that dry. Ideally, I'd like to let it sit there and dry 30 minutes, but I'm not going to keep you waiting, so we're going to work with it a little bit wet. But I want to tell you about these little trays. I get them at Menards, and I have like a dozen of these, and this is what I keep all my little winter snows and glitters in. So this is snow and clear glitter. This is German glass glitter and mica flakes, and it will settle, the glitter will settle down in the bottom because it's heavy. So when I apply this, I have to be sure kind of and sprinkle it like this so you get some of all of it. And where the mica doesn't hit, because those are big flakes, the little bitty pieces of the glitter will fill in the gaps and do that. So this is my snow, and then this one is just German glass glitter. And it comes in different grits. It comes in 70, 80, and 90 grit. So I mix my grits together, at least like a 70 and a 90. So the bigger flakes are going to give you more reflection, but the tiny little bits will fill in between the larger, and it'll give you a better look. So that's just 3 of my bins that I'm going to use on this project right here. So we'll let that glue a second. I'm going to show you. I take just inexpensive greenery, and we have this in the store. When we come in to make medallions or calendars or whatever kits we're doing, we have this in just large bins, and we have all the different glitters out and all of these that you can just buy a la carte and play with them. So I'm just going to take some glue and flip it across this, and it really hides the fact it's just a cheap piece of plastic greenery. And I always have a glass jar of water right here with me because this is actually a fairly nice brush, and I don't want to get it not to be a very nice brush. So I'll wash the glue out of it here in just a second. So I do that, and I also don't do too much, but I do the back sides too because I want to hide those stems that you're seeing like this. If you do it too much, the whole thing will just be a wad of glitter. And then I take it and I put it right down inside of here like this, and I just bury it. So pull those apart so that doesn't. This one's really kind of over full. Usually I have them low down like this so you have lots of sprinkling space. So I'll just pick this up. Now, it's got white glue on it, so you're seeing the white glue, but when that white glue dries, it will all be clear, and it'll look more like real snow. So we'll set that one aside to dry, and I'm going to get this one done. So on this one, I'm going to take my white glue and kind of a heavy coat. I'm going to paint and just barely kind of get up there on the edge. It has to be thick enough that the glue will nestle down in the nice bed of glue. So if I'm seeing a lot of my chipboard through it, I'm going to go back and apply a little bit more because I want a nice heavy coating of that glitter. And it doesn't matter if some, scoots up on there. It kind of adds to it actually. Okay, so again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the straight German glitter on this one. I just put it face down in there, shake it around a little bit, lift it up, see if it covered enough. I've got pretty good coverage. I need to sprinkle a little bit in here. When I put it face down in there like that, I actually like to have more glitter in it, but I've used so much of this that gotten a little bit thin. Tap that off. Isn't that beautiful? It just really, really dresses them up. So we'll set that off to the side to dry. Okay, now I'm going to try to, I'm going to go ahead and get this in water, my glue brush in water. And I'm going to go ahead and try to work on this wet. Get my glue off of there. I'm going to put this face down. And I'm going to take some of this evergreen roping. And I'm going to figure out how much I need. That will be enough. And I should be using wire clippers on this, but I'll take this. These are old scissors. I'll just clip them way deep in there. I'm going to form this into a circle. And I will use hot glue again. So I'll just start in one little, I do it about in 4 sections. So I'll take this. This is wired, so it's really easy to work with and get it to hold its shape. So I'll just hold that there a second. You can see that's why it doesn't matter if there's a little chip out, little nick out of the die cut or the paper, actually, either one. I just keep turning it. And I want to make sure that's up on top. I don't want to waste all that nice little evergreen down underneath the paper. And I'm not going to, because I like the contrast of this green on here, but I could add glitter or snow to this if I wanted. Okay, so we finished that out. I could put a little bow on the back of it if I wanted. You know, if you're using this as an ornament, you might see the back side of it. I've had people that hang them on mirrors, and then you really do see the back side. So there's the back, and that's pretty on its own. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it over and tempt fate by working with wet pieces. Okay, so this is really wet, but I'm going to go ahead, and I usually put glue on here, but since this is wet, I'm going to go ahead and put the glue, and I'm going to push it out the top to make it go out faster. And you know, if that gets sets up on you, just take a hairdryer to it. Now I got to make sure what side is up. This side is up on my back, so I will go like this, push that to the center, and there I go. And I'm set with that one. And now let's decorate this. Okay, I've got some gold roping here that we're going to use, and some little trim pieces here. And I usually take a little more time to do this than this, but we're trying to speed it along. So I don't just put one big piece here like this. And remember, this is really bulky looking because it's still white instead of clear. I come in here, and this is a really thin plastic, so I can just use scissors and snip it into pieces. And it's actually a good idea to take some of this and have it ready ahead of time. Would have been nice if I would have done that. And I'm doing this backwards, upside down here, so you can see it. So I don't know how decorative I will be, but I take this and I start with the evergreen or foliage. If I do these for spring and I do flowers, I still start with like the leaves. So I'll put that in there. We'll come in here and tuck some in there. I gotta turn it around 1 minute. I gotta see. Okay. I want to come a little higher here, so put some there. Okay, so that's probably getting pretty good. I think I want one more piece coming down. I kind of like to have part of it go up and part of it go down. So I'll let just this little sprig stick out down here. And I just drug hot glue across my picture. Normally I'd be a little more careful with how I'm doing this. Okay, so there's my evergreen. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bow in place. And I'm just going to use this gold cord. And I can tie a bow if I want, but I'm just going to make a little figure 8 out of this. So I made a figure 8 and I just made a loop around. And I'd already tied a knot in that. And I'm going to stick some hot glue in here. Hopefully not burn my fingers. And I'll stick some on here. Try to shape my bow up a little bit. I got a little off-centered there, I guess. If this comes out at all, it's going to be amazing. I'm doing it fast and upside down. And with glue on my fingers. Okay, I'll put some glue in there to keep that from fraying out. Trim it off a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of my base. I have my foliage and then I have a bow, and then I'm going to start putting things in place. I'm going to put this little guy here. And I'll probably open this up and tuck some berries in here. And I want to put this little deer right here. Okay, I'm going to turn them around here a little bit. I've got to see where we're at. Okay, I'm going to just take and cut this apart. Stick bend this here and have one come like that, and then I'll open this up and I know there's an opening in there somewhere. I may have it all filled up with glue. I just kind of need to hold this in place for a minute. Sometimes when I had a little extra piece, I'd cut a couple little pieces of this off, and on the opposite side, if I need to balance it, I can put just a sprig in here of the evergreen and maybe like one little berry or something on top of it. Okay, and then I get another bit of ribbon. I'll just grab this one. Maybe. I need about 4 to 6 inches of this ribbon. This one's kind of wide. So I'm going to make a loop like this with it. So I don't need too much. I'm going to cut it off there. Since it's such a wide ribbon, I'm going to fold it over like this. I'm going to poke it and make sure I'm coming off the top. You can even do this before you put those hearts on if you want. But sometimes it's easier to put the ribbon on later so you're sure you're putting it on the top instead of trying to match everything up to the ribbon. I'll hold that there to dry. I guess I can actually do this. And remember that snow is not going to look so white when the glue really dries. So I just need to clean all my hot glue off now. And look how pretty that is. All finished.